This video is brought to you by ncix.com. Great technology, selection, and service.
We have officially reached the point where RGB lighting for your PC case is easily achievable, and it's going to get even simpler as we move forward with the time, and you'll no longer be restricted to specific hardware lighting hubs like the Hue Plus from NZXT. Be it an awesome product, but I think with this sort of introduction, over time it might become obsolete. And that's because motherboard manufacturers are finally getting the hint that we need to see RGB lighting incorporated on the inside of the case, not just on motherboard logos and our peripherals, but with the ability to actually connect RGB LED strips to the 12-volt RGB headers that are directly on the motherboard, thus eliminating the need for dedicated lighting hubs like the Hue Plus. And this is really awesome because you effectively remove the hub hardware element, which can minimize cable clutter and just get rid of that thing entirely out of your case. Demonstration for this video is thanks to Phanteks and Asus, but not limited to, because more motherboard manufacturers will have the RGB headers further on, and compatible lighting strips can also be acquired from CableMod. And actually the Hue Plus strips have what seems like the same 4-pin connection, but the strip voltage is different, so they don't work unless NZXT releases an adapter of some sort. And this whole compatibility discussion is important because you have to pay attention to what voltages are your LED strips, because the 12-volt RGB headers will only support 12-volt RGB LED strips. For example, I tried to plug in the Hue Plus LED strips, which are 5 volts, and it destroyed them. So you have to use what is only compatible 12-volt RGB on the 12-volt RGB headers. Now, the reason we're focusing this demo with the Phanteks Enthoo Lux enclosure is because the case already has built-in exterior ambient lighting where you can cycle to 10 different colors with a simple press of a button. It's only one of the few enthusiast enclosures to feature this type of lighting, but now Phanteks is getting ahead of the curve as a case manufacturer and releasing an adapter that allows you to connect case lighting directly to the RGB header on the motherboard, and thus grant you full control through the Asus Aura software. Now, the adapter is important because it powers the LED strip with a 12-volt pin, and it matches the green, red, and blue channels properly to the LED strips, so you can actually color match the LED strip to the motherboard if the motherboard has lighting incorporated into it. The adapter also lets you connect additional lighting strips, so you can sort of daisy chain your way around, so not just on the exterior lighting, but also on the inside, that will all be synced up. And the Enthoo Lux is one of those unique examples to adopt the RGB header and link it to the case lighting and any extra strips that you might want to plug into the adapter. And it's also compatible with the P400S enclosure and the Enthoo Mini XL, which also has this ambient exterior lighting. Now, they are super bright and vibrant and matches to what you select on screen through the Aura software, but Phanteks, we need to see different types of strips. We only have 1 or 2 meter options, which end up being way too long and don't bend easily inside the case due to the very thick yet waterproof housing, and they're also not magnetic. All of the features that are found on the Hue Plus strips, which are magnetic, they are shorter and allow daisy chaining that makes sense inside the tight space like an enclosure, and they're also a lot thinner. And so the takeaway from this video is that RGB headers on the motherboards are here. It will only be a matter of time until it becomes the mainstream, and you'll no longer need proprietary lighting hubs like the Hue Plus to light up the interior of your case. Now, if you own a compatible motherboard and a compatible Phanteks enclosure, then Phanteks will send you the adapter for free until March 1st. Or you can buy it yourself, which is only $3. Now, the Asus Maximus 8 Hero Alpha is an awesome board because it shows the initial stages of the Aura lighting software, which is still very basic, but gives you all the necessary controls of your lighting strips because you have 2 channels. You can customize those channels perfectly well, despite having only the RGB logo on the motherboard, which looks kind of strange because the rest of the motherboard accents are in red. And so the question is, are you convinced that this shift away from dedicated lighting hubs towards something that's actually built into the motherboard is a good idea? I definitely think so, despite me being sort of skeptical on the software side of things, because I love the extra driver customization you get with a Hue Plus. You have all types of effects, but then I realized that you have pretty much identical lighting settings with the Aura lighting driving software, and you also have the 2 channels which you can customize just perfectly well, just like you can on the Hue Plus. I think it definitely has the potential to grow and become potentially mainstream in like 6 months or so. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm Dmitry with Canucks. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.